Hey guys, so it's been a while since I've been here. I have been doing a lot of reworking, trying to figure out what it is I want to do with this channel and maybe what kind of content I want to give you guys. And I just recently had an idea, so I'm hoping that I can actually follow through with it this time around. And what I've decided to do with this particular video is kind of talk to you guys, really explain to you the importance of understanding your hair and your hair type, because I feel like this is something that throughout the time that I've been natural, I hear a lot of people talking about it and saying, hair type doesn't matter because of this and this and that, you just gotta make sure your hair is healthy and whatever. But to be honest with you guys, a lot of the things that you do to your hair to keep it healthy in the first place has to do with your hair type. And I'm not talking about porosity. I'm not really talking about the density. I'm not talking about, whether or not your hair is like, what other things come into it? What I am saying, actually, is that your hair type specifically, the way that your hair texture is, the definition of your hair specifically, whatever your hair texture is, that is what is important for how you take care of your hair and how you treat your hair. So we're going to really just go into that a little bit more today, and I'm going to really speak on my hair type in a way that I hope maybe you can find it relatable, or maybe you can figure out a way that it can relate to you, because I do know my hair type very well, and that is what I have the most experience with, and so I would like to focus on that. So if you have not subscribed to my channel already, go ahead and hit the subscription button below if this is the kind of content that you would like to see, stuff about natural hair, and specifically about 4A hair, because that is a hair type that I have. And if you have not already and you would like to interact with me and have conversations with me and such and keep up with my life and all of that, go ahead and follow me on Twitter and Instagram at IndianLiv. So let's get started. I went natural back in 2011. I went natural because I was curious about my hair type and I wanted to know how my hair would look if all of my hair looked like my new growth. At the time I was getting relaxers, and I had been getting relaxers for about 5 years, which is just under the amount of time that I've been natural, because right now we're in 2019, so we're coming up on my 7-year anniversary of being natural. And I didn't know anything about my natural hair. Frankly, I think I know more about my natural hair now than anybody in my family had known about my hair from before I even went natural. And before I even got, perms. So why I say that is because it is perfectly okay to start from zero when it comes to your natural hair. It's perfectly fine to do that. What I found to be most helpful for me was by going online and researching, doing my research, doing some reading. I was not someone who learned a lot from YouTube, and I'm still not someone that learns a lot from YouTube. I find that a lot of people on YouTube do a lot of styling videos and do a lot of videos that really just talk about the product that they're using. And then even then, some of those product videos, or most of the product videos that I see, do not even help me. As someone who knows a lot of things, I wouldn't find it very helpful for me to watch those videos to learn about the product, because half the time they're just telling me, oh, this is a great product, but they don't tell you why, and they don't tell you how long they had to use it before it started working, and they don't tell you how much of it they had to really use before it started working. They don't tell you how long maybe the moisture lasts in your hair after you use the product. And, even with the products that they're using, sometimes you're watching someone who doesn't even have your own hair type. And me, not being able to find a lot of people with my hair type at the time that I was natural, and I didn't really know much about people like Natural 85, like I didn't know about them or know about like other YouTubers. So of course, I found it very discouraging by going on YouTube to learn about my hair type. So the next thing that I would like to talk about is how I started to accept my hair. When I first went natural, I thought that my hair was just gonna grow and it was just gonna fall and it's gonna be so cute, like everybody with 3C and type 3, type 2 hair. I didn't know that because I had type 4 hair, my hair, it was not going to grow and fall. It was going to grow and keep going into an afro. So as my hair kept growing and it just wouldn't do this, I was just like, yo, why are you not just falling? Like, I want you to fall. That is because type 4 hair does not fall. The only way that type 4 hair falls is when you do a braid out, or if you're doing a twist out, or if you're doing some kind of styling that has it stretched where it's going to be layered. As long as your hair is in some real curliness and that wash and go is going, you don't do anything to it, your hair naturally defies gravity. Type 4 hair defies gravity the most. So if you're someone who's just going natural and you want to know what your expectations should be, this is another reason why I think it's important to understand your hair type, because your expectations depend on the hair type that you have. You cannot have the same expectations of length when it comes to having type 3 hair if you have type 4 hair. Your hair is never going to stretch like that naturally. Your hair is never going to fall like that naturally. And it doesn't mean that it's a bad thing, but it just means that you really need to understand. My hair already shrinks to half its length. My hair, if I stretch this out, comes down to right here. The front part comes down to right here. The back part goes down to my bra strap. And that's just because type 4 hair shrinks the most. And the deeper you go into the type 4 hair spectrum from A to C, when you get to C, that hair type, distinguishing between type 4A hair and type 4C hair is really just how much it shrinks and how tight those coils are. My hair, if you can see the definition, literally makes an S shape. And when you look at the hair typing charts, there's a lot of people that say, oh, you know, my hair never matched it, so I can't even believe whatever is on that chart because my hair never looks like that. It depends on what product you're putting in your hair. It depends on how you're treating your hair. It depends on how much protein you're allowing to penetrate your hair. It depends on if you're even deep conditioning your hair enough. It depends on how moisturized your hair is. It depends on how healthy your hair is too. When I first started out, I had a lot of heat damage. And so reason why I had a lot of heat damage and I didn't realize it was an issue is because I was so caught up in wanting my hair to fall, not accepting that my hair does not naturally fall. So when it was falling, I was like, yes, you know, I'm keeping some length, my hair is getting long, it's looking cute, blah, 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 but it was completely fried, completely damaged, and I didn't know any better. Another reason why you need to know what your hair type is, because you need to know what your hair should look like when it's completely healthy. If you don't know that, then you won't have any distinguish. Like, you won't have any, like, distinguishments, or you won't have a basis of where, you know, where your hair should be, or what it should even resemble if you don't know what your hair type is. So that's something to keep in mind, and your hair should look like your hair type on that chart, on whatever, the most accurate charts that there are, your hair should look like that when it's in its wash and go. That's the next thing. If you're trying to do a wash and go and it's not coming out like somebody who has type 3 hair, it's because it's not supposed to. It's supposed to look like your actual hair type. So, biggest thing when you're starting out natural, if you get nothing else from this video, learn what your hair type is. Why? Because you need to know what your hair is supposed to look like. You need to know what your hair is supposed to look like when it's healthy, when it's in a wash and go, and how doing twist outs, braid outs, flexi rods, perm rods, how doing those styles will change the way that your hair looks. Because if you're going for a different look, you also need to know, if I have type 4 hair, I should stretch my hair first, make sure it's kind of blown out before I go stick it in a flexi rod set, before I go decide to do some Bantu knots. Because if you don't, what's going to happen is your hair is going to revert and it's not going to get to that style correctly. So all of that work that you're doing is going to be for nothing. And then it'll also determine the kind of products that you're using. If you have type 4 hair, your hair is the kinkiest, and what that means is because it bends so much and it has so many twists and turns, you have to be very careful about the moisture. Because your hair bends so much, it's going to lose moisture the fastest. And if it is the kinkiest of the type 4 family, you're going to need to put more into locking that moisture in than someone who might not have as kinky hair as you. And that's just fact. That's just based on the science of your hair. That has nothing to do with, oh, you know, my hair's just nappy. No. If your hair is very kinky, very coily, very wiry, it is better for you to do the LOC method, because those extra layers that build up of those products will help to make sure that your hair does not lose moisture as fast as if you didn't build those products in such a way. It'll also determine the kind of thickness and consistency that will work for your hair. When it comes to leave-in conditioners, you might need to find a leave-in conditioner that has a consistency that when you put it between your fingertips, it doesn't go away. It's like a lotion that just will not dissolve. Why? Because it's going to give you that extra barrier that your hair needs to lock that moisture in. That's just how this works. So honestly, I think that's everything I need to say about type 4 hair and why it's so important to really be realistic about your natural hair expectations. When I started, like I said, I thought I was going to be out here with some 3C, my hair was going to be falling, it was going to be cute. My hair does not grow down, it grows out. So as my hair gets longer, I'm not going to see it reach here. It might do that when it's wet. But what it is going to do is it's going to start growing like this. My hair doesn't grow like this, it grows like this. Understanding your hair type will help you understand what to look for when it's growing longer, how to treat it when it's being styled, and it'll help you understand whether or not your wash and go, your twist out, and your braid out was a success, how to have success with Bantu knot outs, flexi rod sets, other styles, you know, all of these things. How gentle you need to be when you're detangling it, which you should be gentle with your hair at all times. It doesn't matter what hair type you have, you should be gentle with all hair types. But when you have kinkier hair, you need to be more cautious because it snaps and breaks a lot easier, especially if your strands are fine. which is a whole different topic. But that's all I have to say about hair typing. Yeah, thanks for watching. And if you found this video helpful, please, 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 please share it with someone and have them subscribe to my channel, because I'm really trying to hit 1,000 subscribers. That is my goal. And I would really like to put out more educational type talking videos than to put out styling videos. But if you guys have, for whatever reason, for whatever reason you see a style that I have in a video, like, and you want a video on it, I will try my best to get that video to you about just how to do it. I may not show you guys my whole head of how to do it. I'll just show you one section, the products I use, the steps I did, maybe talk about it a little bit, why I did all that. Let me know if this video was helpful in the comments below. Give me a like, give me a subscribe. And if you want to see more videos from me, hit the subscribe button. Because if you don't, you're going to miss whenever I upload. So hit the subscribe button. If you want a notification, hit that bell, wherever that is. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye!